Shri Gurubhyo Puranana Karunalayam Namapad Shankaram Karunamanmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vidvaram Paramananda Madhava. Sit straight, it's called asana. The head, neck and vertebral column in a straight line and without any movement. The place where we are sitting is a clean, quiet place. We are sitting all alone. Our eyes gently close. This shows the withdrawal of all other sense organs. They are turned within. Now we bow down to our Guru and Ishtadev, to them, and pray that, O Lord, bless us with the fourfold qualities, sadhan chatushtaya. We worship their feet with devotion and faith. Now we breathe in and breathe out. The pranayama we practice is called pranavik. That is, we observe breathing in and breathing out in a rhythm. Practice is for some time, 6 to 7 times, to quieten the mind. By this practice of prana, the mind which is quiet, to that we bring the Mahavat, that indicates Brahman, which is all pervading. Swam indicates you and I, the individual being. Ashi indicates oneness. The consciousness which illumines at the individual level and at the level of totality is one consciousness, and that I am. This is indicated by Om in many Upanishads, and says, Om iti etad Brahma, I am Atma Brahma. This Atma is Brahman. With these understanding, let us chant Om. Take a deep breath and then say Om. Om. Mentally repeat Aham Brahmas. This is Akhanda. Rub your hands. Put your palm on your eyes and slowly open your eyes. Danta Gotama Gocharam Govindanandam Sadgurum Pranato Acharya bow down to his Guru Govindapad and to Lord Krishna, and he says the text talks about the oneness of Jivatma and Paramatma, and it is not known through sense organs. Shastra alone is the pramana. We bow down to Shankaracharya teaching us this text, who has written this text. We bow down to Puja Gurudev, to entire Guru Parampara. We bow down to the Lord. By His grace we are able to study, and we bow down to all great saints and sages. We seek their blessings, and with their blessings we start our studies. So yesterday, we were in Vivekachudamani, we were seeing the verse 336. This verse we just started. Bhāye niruddhe manasa prasannata mana prasade paramatma darshanam tasmin sudrushte bhava bandhanasha bahir nirodha padavi vimukte. Now, here it says that Bhāye niruddhe, when he is taking that, what are the benefits when we turn the mind inward? Mind's nature is extrovertedness. Now we have turned within. Bhāye niruddhe, when from the external world the mind is taken away, is controlled. Manasaha prasannata, and then the mind is quiet. There is no object, and such a mind feels happiness. Happiness. Manasa prasannata. And manaha prasade, when the mind is quiet. Paramatma darshanam. And then one realizes the Lord which is present in one's own self. So the mind is to be quietened, and when the mind is quietened, mind is quietened, the self by itself shines. The self shines by itself. Paramatma, we don't have to do. It is we have to quieten the mind. When the mind is quietened, then the self shines by itself. There's a vision of Paramatma. That I am the consciousness, not that thing. I am that consciousness. That is the Tasmin Sudrushte. Su means Sushtu, well. When this vision arises, or when one realizes that I am Brahman, Bhava Bandhan, then there is a destruction of rebirth, transmigration. Such a person is not reborn again. Bhava Bandha Nasha. Bhava means to become. Bandha means bondage. This bondage that coming again and again, that is destroyed. That is Bhava Bandha Nasha. Bahir Nirodha, and when one has turned the mind within, mind's nature is extrovertedness. One has turned within, this padavi, this step, when one is turned within, vimukte, one gets liberation. This is for liberation. The step, what we are taking, turning mind within, it finally leads us to liberation. See now, if we see our mind, what we have to do is, we have to observe our mind. Mind is thinking so many things, one after another. See that the mind is quiet. Don't interfere in somebody's, whatever their action is that, why that person is doing, what is doing. Don't interfere, don't interfere. Otherwise the mind's nature is always to see what other person is doing. No, don't look or think what other person is doing. You mind your own business. We have to turn within. How otherwise the mind will be quiet? The mind is thinking about the worldly objects and people. No. Things will happen. The world is there. Something is going to happen. But what is not necessary, don't indulge in that. Don't indulge in that. Don't ask why, what. Don't ask those questions for somebody else. You mind your own business. Think about your own self. That how is my mind? Always watch your mind. See, whenever you are working, watch your mind. What type of thoughts my mind is getting? There are good thoughts or there are negative thoughts. Always be aware of your mind. We have to be conscious of our mind. Generally, first, we do not know whether we have a mind or not. Second thing, the thoughts are there. It is called mind. And that mind, we have to be very conscious of it. Very conscious of it. See that no negative listening, no negative thoughts. The moment it comes, you just remove it. Just it has started. Because unless we are alert, this is not possible. Alertness is very, very necessary for our own self. So he says, when the mind we have shut from external world, how we can shut? The world is there, but we don't indulge. We don't indulge. And we be always alert about our own mind. This is practical. We have to be alert. What type of thoughts are coming? Am I thinking negative about somebody? No. Even it comes, you just remove that thought. Don't proceed further. Don't exceed your thinking more and more about anyone. We have to think, how am I What are the thoughts going in my mind? Then only we can understand and stop where it is to be stopped. So this is Bhagavan says, what is the benefit of turning the mind within? What is that? That's what he said. Here, Padvi means it is a state. Now, in the next verse, he says that who is a person who is a Viveki, he is able to withdraw his mind. He is able, always he brings the Viveka, because Viveka is very, very important. Kapandita sat asapandita san Viveki Shruti Pramana Paramartha Darshi Janan hi Kurya Asato Avalambam To Shishuvat Mumukshu Panditah San Sat Asat Viveki Shruti Pramana Paramarthadarshi Janan hi kuryat asato shuhu. Now he says that who is a Pandit? We say a person, he has studied the scriptures, he knows about the scriptures, and when say he is a Pandit. Kaha Pandita, son, who is a Pandita? Sata Asata Viveki. The one who can distinguish between that which is Sat and Asat. Sat here means permanent. Asat is that impermanent. Permanent and impermanent. Asat Viveki. A person who can discriminate between the Sat and Asat. Real and ephemeral. Then Shruti Pramana. He follows the scriptures. For him, the Shruti is the Pramana, Paramartha Darshi, and he is striving to realize the self. So, who is a Pandit? Who has studied the scriptures, who is a Viveki, who follows the Shruti as a Pramana, and he is striving to realize the absolute truth. Paramartha, this is his goal of life. Now he says, Jananhi, and knowing this, Kuryat Avalamba. He knows this is unreal, and he is Avalamba. He is running after Asat. Means the world. He is giving reality to the world, and that my body, mind and intellect, this is me. This is Asata. He is running after that. If it does like this, what will happen? This brings downfall of him. If one gives reality to the worldly object, that which are unreal, they are apparently real, and he gives reality which cause for the downfall. And how? Mumukshuhu. This mumukshuhu will go with pramana, paramartha, will follow about 2 lines. But the person who is running after unreal things which cause his downfall, how? Shishuvat, the example is given of a small child. Shishuvat, which Gurudev gives example that a small child is there and is just crawling, and he suddenly saw something moving coming. That was a deadly poisonous snake. The child does not know, and the child tries to catch that snake. What will happen? The snake bite and the child may die, isn't it? In the same way, Shishuvat, like a small child, if we also take the support of unreal, then we bring our own downfall. Means then we become once extroverted, then we think, give reality to that, always thinking of the worldly objects. I and mine. I am this, this is mine. And then you are worried about it. The whole day you are worried about it. And then you become sad. Something happens. So, swapatuhu. This brings our downfall, cause of our fall. When we identify with unreality, it is a cause of a fall. Like a child. Child is not aware. Why the example of child is given? Because one is extroverted, his mind goes to the worldly objects, but because he likes it, but he does not know that this will bring his transmigration. He has to come back again and again in this world. But one who is a Sata Satvivek, who has studied the Shastra, who is following the Shruti, and who want to realize the truth, the one who is a Mumukshu, he will keep away from the unreal. He will keep away from unreal. He will not run after that. What is needed to live, what is for our existence, he does it, but he does not give reality to this. It does not give reality to the world. You know, the asat is that which never gives you permanent happiness. Asat is that which never gives you permanent happiness. And the worldly objects are like that. Once you get attached to it, it never stops. It increases more and more. You have to put an effort to withdraw from the worldly objects. You have to put an effort. That's why the Vishayas in Bhagavad Gita, it is said, they are like a wish. They are poisonous. They are deadly poisonous, the objects. And one never gets peace of mind. His peace is lost. Okay. Now, the further Bhagavan says that two different example is giving. Two different. The different states is explaining. The different states. Dehadi samsakna mukti muktasya dehadi bhavah syano jagaranam na swapnasvat dehadi samsakna mukti muktasya bhavah suptasya no jagaranam na swapnas binna gunash will break the sandhi. Deha adi samshakti matah na muktasya deha adi abhimatya means abhimati. This is how you have to break it. Abhimati abhava. Those who know Sanskrit, the E has become ya by sandhi. And suptasya, no. Here no means na plus u. Na plus u becomes no. Na ja swapnas binna guna ashrayatva. Now he says that deha adi samshakti matah. Deha adi. Deha means body, adi means etc. Mind and intellect. A person, samshakti. It is not shakti. Is very much attached. A person who is very much attached to the body means all the time he is thinking where to go, what shall I eat, what shall I wear. All day his mind is thinking of the body. Dehadi samshakti mata. He says Bhagwan, na mukti. Such a person cannot have the experience of truth. He cannot get liberation. What is bondage? Bondage that I am the body. And liberation is that you are not attached to the body. You don't say I am a body. Body is my instrument. An instrument is other than me. So, the one who is attached that I am the body is always thinking of the body. Most of the people are like that. They are always thinking. They want to beautify the body. They want to think, planning. how can I get the enjoyment? That is called Dehadi Samshakti Mata. The one whose mind is attached to the body, na mukti. Bhagavan says they're not possible to get liberation. Then he says, Muktasya, the one who is liberated, Deha Adi, body, etc., Abhimati Abhava, and he has no identification with the body. Both are opposite. One who has identification with the body, he cannot get liberation. And one who is liberated, he has no identification with the body. No identification. You see the Mahatmas, they have no identification with the body. You know, we have the example of Sant Gnaneshwar. And Sant Gnaneshwar was a great saint of Maharashtra. And he was a Gnani. Now, the Changdev, Sant Gnaneshwar, some 16 years old, like that, a young boy, a Gnani. And another person, he was more than 1,000 years old. He was such a Mahatma and he has got many powers. And when he knew that Sant Gnaneshwar is there and I must go and meet him, he's a Gnani. He's not a Gnani, he got powers only. So Sant Gnaneshwar writes a letter to him. He started writing letter, but he said he's so young, I cannot write, address him like that, you are a great Mahatma, or respect him like that. But he's a Gnani, what shall I write? He could not write anything. He just sent without writing a letter. And when Sant Gnaneshwar, sister Muktabai, when she saw this letter, she said that this Mahatma has remained without knowing anything, just like a plain paper. And this Sant, this Changdev, he had many disciples because he had siddhis. So he said, you have such a great power, you are going to see him. And he goes sitting on a tiger. He could control the tiger. He goes sitting on the tiger. Here Gnaneshwar came to know that such a great Mahatma is coming. And they were all sitting on the outside house. There was a platform and they were sitting. He just touched the platform and said, let us go and receive Changdev. That platform started walking and they came to receive the Changdev. The Changdev, was so surprised. I have no control on Jadavastu. You are such a great Mahatma. He was a realized person. Muktasya. For a Mukta, what is impossible? Everything is possible. And he comes and prostrates to Sant Gnaneshwar. Siddhis you may have, you may be an elderly person, but the Gnani is the highest. Na mukti. The Dehadi Shakta has no mukti. And Sant Gnaneshwar has no ego. He has no ego. He said, a Mahatma is coming, I must go and receive him. So he goes to receive him, Muktasya. He has no abhimana that I am the body, I am a great person. He has no abhimana. Now he gives another example. Suptasya no jagaranam. Suptasya. Here no means no only, not. He says, the one who is in deep sleep, you can't say that he is awake. A person is a deep sleep, he is not awake. Na jagrataha. And the one who is awake, swapnaha. How for a person who is awake, he cannot have a dream or he cannot have a deep sleep. Tayoha binna guna ashrayatvat. Because both are different experiences, different state of experiences. These are the two states, waking and dream, or the deep sleep states, are opposite in nature. As the states are opposite in nature, a person who is liberated and a person who is attached to the body, these are contradictory in nature. That's why it says, Bhinna Guna Ashrayat. They are different states and they are contradictory in nature. We have a mantra in Bhagavad Gita also, that the one who is a Gnani, the Gnani is one who is aware of everything, is aware of everything. So these are the different states of experiences and they are contradictory in nature. In the same way, the person who is liberated and the one who is attached to the body, these two states are contradictory in nature. There is a contradiction because one has no attachment with the body, other is only attached, I am this body. That's what his thinking is that. Now, Bhagwan comes to the next topic and he says, he explains a Gnani. Who is a Gnani? He explains about a Gnani. Antarbahi swam स्थिरजङ्गमेषु ज्ञात्वात्म आधविलोक्य त्यक्तखिलोपाधिरूपः पूर्णात्म एष मुक्तः अन्तर्बहिष्वम् एषु ज्ञात्वात्म आधविलोक्य त्यक्तखिलोपाधिरखण्डनात् मुक्तः. Now Bhagavan says, who is a Gnani? The nature of a Gnani is described. Antar Bahihi. Antar within. Bahihi means outside. Swam is self. Sthira Jangameshu. Such a person, how is he outside and inside. Sthira Jangameshu. That which is moving and that which is not moving. Chara Achara. This is also known as Chara and Achara. A person, one who has experiences the infinite consciousness, there is no difference between the moving and the non-moving, because he sees the consciousness everywhere. In that which is not moving, he is able to see as an existence. There the consciousness is present as existence, as Sat. That object is there. Now you see the mountain is there, tree is there. Then the consciousness is present as existence. So he is able to see in Sthira and Jangama, that which is moving and that which is not moving, inside and outside, is able to see, having experience, having known. Why is able to see the consciousness everywhere? Because he has realized the truth. Atmana, the self, adharataya, means that is the substratum. The consciousness is the adhara. The consciousness is the substratum. Vilokya. Vilokya means having realized. The one who has realized that I am the consciousness, I am the substratum of all, he sees everywhere the Brahman and Brahman alone. To our Prahladji, Hiranyakashipu, his father asked, is your Lord present in this pillar? He said, yes, my Lord is present in this pillar. And the Lord manifested from that pillar, isn't it? So, inside and outside, everywhere. When Brahman we said, the word Brahman means Bruhatvad Brahman, that which is everywhere, inside, outside. Inside and outside we say compared to the body. But he is everywhere. There is no place where the consciousness is not there. That is the substratum. The one who has realized this, the Akhila Upadhi, then he has no identification with the body. Upadhi, the body, mind and intellect. He has no identification with this. Why? Akhanda is the nature which is, khanda means divided. Akhanda, which is undivided form. The consciousness is same everywhere, pervading. There is no division is that. Outside and inside, such division is not there. Like a space. As the space is all pervading, the Brahman is all pervading. Akhila Upadhi. Such a Gnani, he has no identification with the Upadhi, and Purnatmana is as Brahman. Is as Brahman. Yah sthitaha. He always remains as Brahman and Brahman alone. He remains as Brahman. Though you and I can see the Upadhi is the body, but in essence he is a Brahman and Brahman alone. Yah sthitaha muktaha. He is called a liberated person. He is called a liberated person. Puja Gurudev also know his legs is to be numb often. So whenever in Siddhabadi or any place, cold place, he is to cover the legs with the shawl. People thought that he is putting why? Because the legs used to be numb. But he had no identification with that. Once he is reveling in Brahman, and when he talks, you cannot know what all problems the body has, because he has no identification with the body. He had no identification with the body. Will have his own problem. As the age we grow, the body will have his own problems. Everyone is bound to have some or other problem. The vikar are there. So, but a gnani is that he is established in truth as Brahman, and Brahman always remains. He has no identification with the body. No identification with the body. The Gnanis are like that. Swami Ramakrishna Paramhamsa, when 3 days in Samadhi, when the door was closed, 3 days he remained in Samadhi, There remained many people for days, months together. Remain as a Brahman and Brahman. No identification with the body. No identification with the body. There was one place, they were digging the underground, and underground they saw a Mahatma was in Samadhi. Then they left that place, Once they are in Samadhi, they are no identification with the body. Now, in the next verse, he says about the Sarvatma Bhava, that the one who sees the Brahman and Brahman everywhere. Not that I am Brahman, but he sees everywhere Brahman and Brahman alone. Sarvatanda vimukti heto Svatma bhavakita drishya grahe papadsho sarvatma asya sadatma nishtaya sarvatmata bandha vimukti hetu sarvatma bhavakita dasya papadyate so svatma bhavo asya sadatma nishtaya sarva atmata. That Sarva Atmatata. Not that I am the consciousness, but is able to see the consciousness everywhere. That is called Sarvatma Bhav. The self in me is the same self present everywhere. Bandha Vibhuti. When one has this Sarvatma, then it is a means to release from the bondage. What is the bondage? I am the body. Always remember, nobody is bound. I am the body is called a bondage. Bandha vimukti. He has no identification with the body. Bandha vimukti. He is liberated from the bondage. And Sarvat, because he is seeing the Brahman everywhere. Na paraha asti kaschita. There is, this what in Bhagavad Gita, Devam Sarvamiti. Everywhere is that Paramatma alone. Then, na paraha asti. Para means higher. There is nothing higher than the Brahman. Once you realize that I am the Brahman, and one who sees everywhere Brahman, there is nothing higher than that. This is the high. Who says? The Shastra tells us. There is nothing higher than that. Oh, if one realizes I am Brahman, he has to do some more sadhana. Is there something higher? No. The Shruti says there is nothing higher than that. Napar in Upanishad also says there is nothing higher than that. Drishya agrahe, not agrahe. And when graha means to catch, agraha means negate. Drishya agrahe sat. When that which is seen is negated, asho, then only one realizes this. When one has negated the upadhi, one has no identification with the upadhi, then only the realization takes place. Then only comes to realize. Now you see how much you and I have identification with the body. I am this happening, my body, this is happening, I am suffering this. Always remembering that, always remembering that. Bhagavan says, Drishya, when you give reality to the name and forms, then and you are not negating the upadhi, then you cannot realize. Only when you negate the upadhi, the realization takes place. When the scene, the world, and the body, mind and intellect, it is negated. Negated means they are not real. They are not real. You don't have to destroy yourself. Negated, then only one realizes Nama Rupa, Sarvatma, and then this Sarvatma, Asya. Asya means Asya Sadhakasya. For this Sat Atma Nishtaya. And because of the Sat, he is having a firm abidance in the self. He is having a firm abidance in the self. He is established in the self. Sadatma Nishtaya is always abiding in the self. The one who has a Sat, one who sees the Brahman and Brahman everywhere, he only gets established in the truth. This we have to change our view. Now we are only seeing the name and forms. Through the name and forms, the Brahman alone is the reality. Mahatma sees this Brahman and Brahman alone. And that's why they are always happy. The nature of the Brahman is Satanda. So they are always happy in spite of the body having so many problems. And even because of the presence of such a man, we also feel happiness. And we want to be near him. We want to be near him. The next verse is a Shardula Vikridikam. Shardula Vikridita. What is that? दृश्याशग्रहणं कथं नो देहात्मना बाह्य अर्थ प्रसक्तात् कुर्वतः संन्यस्त किल धर्म कर्म विषये नित्य आत्मनिष्ठा परैहि पर that visarga comes the next line तत्त्वज्ञैः करणीयम् आत्मनि सदानन्देच्छुभिः यत्नतः देहस्ततो मायार्थ रसतत्तत् संन्यस्तखिल धर्म कर्म विषये नित्यापरैः तत्त्वज्ञैः करणीयम् आत्मनि सदानन्दे इच्छुभिः यत्नतः देह. One who is identified with the body, how it is possible? Drishyasya agrahanam. He cannot but give the reality to the world. One who thinks that I am the body, who has identification with the body, how is it possible for him to give up the world as non-real? He thinks world is also real because I am this body and the world, drishya, the world. Agrahana, how he cannot accept the world? He sees the world also as real. He gives reality to the world. And Bahya Artha is extremely, his mind is attached to the prasakta, his mind is attached to the objects. And Tat tat kriya, and doing the specific actions for getting those objects. To get that object, he does that action. His mind is attached to the outside world, and to get that objects, he does those actions. For whom is talking? Who is attached that I am this body and give reality to the world. Now Bhagavan says, Sanyasta, but who has renounced Akhila Dharma. Akhila Dharma here means Vedic Dharma. Such a person who has even given the Vedic Dharma, that is, or yagna and yaga to go to heaven and all that. How a sannyasi can do that? It needs lot of money. Karma, he has given the laukik karma also he has given. Secular actions also he has given up. He is not attached to Shabda, Sparsha, Rasa, Rupa. That's why the word is used. Sannyas is renounced. Dharma, karma, vishayehi. And then what is doing? Nitya Atma Nishtha. He is always who is devoted to the self, who wants to experience the self, and who is devoted to the self. Is meditating. Is meditating. Tattvagnehi says that this a person who want to realize the self, this is should be practiced. Atmani, in the self. One has to practice Shravana Mana, who wants to, the one who wants to realize the self. And what is the name? Sadananda Ichubhi. Ichubhi, desiring. The one who wants to experience Sadananda. And my nature is Satchitananda. One who wants to experience, he has to put an effort. Nothing happens like that. We have to put an effort. Today, little effort. Tomorrow, some more effort. Half an hour, 45 minutes, one meditates. And when one slowly increases the time and the mind is quietened, then what happens? Bhagavan says, who has given other things and who is only want to realize the truth, such a person must practice this meditation. He has to sannyasta akhila dharma karma vishay nitya. He is only want to devote his time for meditation. Atmanishta pare. That is the supreme tattva. He wants to realize the truth. Karaniyam. This is to be done. And he has to give up this sannyasta. Atmani sadananda ichu. Who wants to experience that my nature is bliss. Yatna. He has to put an effort. Without effort, nothing happens. Mahatmas, now we say realize master. Not this birth. Previous birth he would have done the sadhana. This is the result of many janmas. It does not happen suddenly. Because the mind has so many vasanas of many janmas. The mind is to be purified. And then karaniyam. Karaniyam means must do. Practice. This are okay. Bhagavan in each verse, at least same thing is repeating in a different way. Same thing in a different way is repeating. For our benefit. All Mahatmas, they like Vivekachudamani very much. They like Vivekachudamani very much. Because here so much Bhagavan Shankaracharya, repetition he has done. Same thing, repetition again and again. So it will go in our mind. Om Purnamada Purnamidamadaya Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om Loka Shamat Shanti Shanti. My pranam to all of you. Please, this is repetition is for ourselves only. We have to, whatever Bhagavan says, let us practice it. Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasa. Okay? Hari Om. Hari Om. My pranam to all of you. Hari Om.